The following is an Investor Brand Network audio production via our audio press release solutions. As a multifaceted financial news and publishing company, Investor Brand Network utilizes its network of more than 5,000 distribution partners as well as other corporate communication tools to introduce public and private companies to a wide audience of investors, consumers, journalists, and the general public. Investor Brand Network's platform connects the investment community with companies that have great potential and a strong dedication to building shareholder value. The following audio press release may feature a client partner of Investor Brand Network. Investor Brand Network may have been compensated for the production of this audio production. Please be sure to read our entire disclaimer for full disclosure.
NetworkNewsWire presents Longeveron announces positive top-line results for Lomecel-B in its ClearMind Phase 2A clinical trial in the treatment of mild Alzheimer's disease. Primary endpoint of safety met across all study groups. Statistical significance met for secondary endpoint composite Alzheimer's disease score for Lomecel-B low dose and for the pooled Lomecel-B treatment group relative to placebo. Other doses demonstrated numerical slowing and prevention of disease worsening relative to placebo. Additional biomarker data expected to be announced in the coming weeks. Longeveron Inc, LGVN on NASDAQ, a clinical-stage biotechnology company developing cellular therapies for life-threatening and chronic aging-related conditions such as hypoplastic left heart syndrome, Alzheimer's disease, and aging-related frailty, recently announced positive top-line results from its Phase 2A trial of its investigational product Lomecel-B for the treatment of mild Alzheimer's disease. The company hosted a conference call and webcast recently to discuss the results. Quote, "We believe these results provide important validation of both the safety and therapeutic potential of Lomecel-B in the treatment of Alzheimer's disease, and provide a robust foundation for additional clinical trials in this and other indications," said Wael Hashad, Chief Executive Officer of Longeveron. "We look forward to announcing additional biomarker data from this trial, anticipated to be later this month, which may further characterize the clinical effects of Lomecel-B in this study population. With our Phase 2 ELPIS II trial in HLHS moving toward anticipated completion in 2024, and our Phase 2 program in aging-related frailty progressing in Japan as well, we look forward to meaningful milestones in the near term and to fully realizing the therapeutic potential of Lomecel-B." End quote. Quote, "These study results with Lomecel-B are encouraging," added Dr. Jeffrey Cummings, MD, Vice Chair of Research at UNLV Department of Brain Health. The study met its primary safety endpoint and is supported by lack of deterioration in cognitive or atrophy signals. The efficacy observations are encouraging, and these results should be used as a foundation for further studies. End quote. Quote, "We are encouraged by these results, which appear to be further supported by their consistency with the findings from Longeveron's early Phase 1 study on Alzheimer's disease," concluded Dr. Natalia Agafonova, Chief Medical Officer of Longeveron. End quote. An estimated 6.7 million Americans are living with Alzheimer's disease. Of the total U.S. population, about 1 in 9 people aged 65 and older has Alzheimer's disease. The percentage of people with Alzheimer's disease increases with age. Despite progress for new anti-amyloid treatment, there remains a high unmet medical need. Results. The primary endpoint of safety was met based on statistical and medical assessment. There was one serious adverse event, or SAE, reported on each Lomecel-B treatment group, and none on placebo. Each SAE was reviewed and assessed by the Data and Safety Monitoring Board with no safety issues raised. The study safety data were consistent with an established safety profile with no incidents of hypersensitivity, no cases of Alzheimer-related imagined abnormalities, no clinically asymptomatic hemorrhages as revealed by MRI, and no notable changes in laboratory evaluations and EKG. Listeners can read additional details of the top-line results from Longeveron's Phase 2A trial via the original press release. Forward-looking statement. Certain statements in this press release that are not historical facts are forward-looking statements made pursuant to the safe harbor provisions of the Private Securities Litigation Reform Act of 1995, which reflect management's current expectations, assumptions, and estimates of future operations, performance, and economic conditions. and involve risks and uncertainties that could cause actual results to differ materially from those anticipated by the statements made herein. Forward-looking statements are generally identifiable by the use of forward-looking terminology, such as believe, expects, may, looks to, will, should, plan, intend, on condition, target, see, potential, estimates, preliminary, or anticipates, or the negative thereof or comparable terminology, or by discussion of strategy or goals or other future events, circumstances, or effects. Factors that could cause actual results to differ materially from those expressed or implied in any forward-looking statements in this release include, but are not limited to, statements about the ability of Longeveron's clinical trials to demonstrate safety and efficacy of the company's product candidates and other positive results, the timing and focus of the company's ongoing and future preclinical studies and clinical trials, and the reporting of data from those studies and trials. The size of the market opportunity for the company's product candidates, including its estimates of the number of patients who suffer from the diseases being targeted. The success of completing therapies that are or may become available. The beneficial characteristics, safety, efficacy, and therapeutic effects of the company's product candidates. The company's ability to obtain and maintain regulatory approval of its product candidates in the U.S., Japan, and other jurisdictions. The company's plans relating to the further development of its product candidates, including additional disease states or indications it may pursue. The company's plans and ability to obtain or protect intellectual property rights, including extensions of existing patent terms, where available, and its ability to avoid infringing the intellectual property rights of others. The need to hire additional personnel, and the company's ability to attract and retain such personnel. The company's estimates regarding expenses, future revenue, capital requirements, and needs for additional financing. The company's need to raise additional capital, and the difficulties it may face in obtaining access to capital, and the dilutive impact it may have on its investors. The company's financial performance and ability to continue as a going concern, and the period over which it estimates its existing cash and cash equivalents will be sufficient to fund its future operating expenses and capital expenditure requirements. Further information relating to factors that may impact the company's results and forward-looking statements are disclosed in the company's filings with the Securities and Exchange Commission, including Longeveron's annual report on Form 10-K for the year ended December 31, 2022, filed with the Securities and Exchange Commission on March 14, 2023, and its quarterly report on Form 10-Q for the second quarter of 2023, filed with the SEC on August 11, 2023. The forward-looking statements contained in this press release are made as of the date of this press release, and the company disclaims any intention or obligation, other than imposed by law, to update or revise any forward-looking statements, whether as a result of new information, future events, or otherwise.
This audio press release is an original broadcast provided by Investor Brand Network, a multifaceted financial news and publishing company that delivers a new generation of corporate communication solutions, including news aggregation and syndication, social communication, and brand awareness tools. Investor Brand Network may receive payments for the services and solutions provided to its client partners. You should assume that the owners, officers, and directors of Investor Brand Network or financial analysts mentioned in this audio production may hold a position in and may intend to trade the securities on their own accounts. This audio production is not an offer or recommendation to buy or sell any securities mentioned in this audio production. The information in this broadcast is presented solely for informative purposes and is not intended to be or should it be construed as investment advice. As in all investments, investment in the featured companies carries an investment risk. Listeners should review the companies thoroughly with a registered investment advisor or registered stockbroker. This audio production by Investor Brand Network is not purported to be a complete study of the featured company or other companies mentioned. Information used and statements of fact have been obtained from featured companies and other sources but not verified nor guaranteed by Investor Brand Network as to completeness or accuracy. Such information is subject to change without notice. Please see our full disclaimers and disclosures at investorbrandnetwork.com.